Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akmal Mutohar, and we are from group Bismillah Nilai A in data visualization. So we are going to present our report about this midterm project task. So first is about our dataset. So here is our dataset that we get from Kaggle. The title is Comprehensive Diabetes Clinical Dataset. So it consists of 100,000 rows, meaning there is 100,000 surveyors of person here. This is about diabetes dataset of 100,000 individuals, and this dataset includes information on gender, age, location, race, hypertension, heart disease, smoking history, and then BMI or body mass index, and then HbA1c level that indicates diabetes, and then blood glucose level, and also the diabetes status, meaning there is a diabetic person and also non-diabetic person. But in our report, we are not going to use all of this data set, and we are going to use some of it, and it's going to be explained later in the infographics.
Okay, so I'll explain the first part for this infographic. So my name is Andi Ghafa. I am the second member of Bismillah Nilai. So this infographic is about increasing diabetic awareness. So if you can see our quote, your health, your future, be aware, beat diabetes. So let's take the first part. Let's take a look at the overall diabetes rate. The data reveals that only 8.2% of the population is classified as diabetic, while an overwhelming 91.8% are non-diabetic. This highlights that the majority of individuals in this dataset do not have diabetes, emphasizing that while the disease is present, it is a relatively smaller portion of the surveyors. So scroll down. Next is the diabetic gender comparison. The numbers show that 52.5% of those diagnosed are women and 47.5% are men. This indicates that while there is a slight gender difference, the rates are nearly balanced, suggesting that both men and women are equally susceptible to diabetes. This insight helps us to understand the need for awareness and preventive measures across both genders, addressing this growing health issue. Okay, so the next part will be explained by Lukman.
Okay, so my name is Lukman Alfaris, and I will explain about the number 3 is influence of BMI, and number 4 is influence of age. So for the first, influence of BMI. So for the graph, the BMI graph shows that the diabetes case peak is in the range 30 until 34, and then followed closely by the 25 range until 29, and then the 35 until 39 range. And then also from the graph, we could know that these sections is emphasize the significance of BMI or body mass index in predicting diabetes risk. So the higher BMI values, especially those indicating obesity, are strongly correlated with an increased risk of developing diabetes. The sections point out that excess body fat, particularly around the abdomen, disrupt normal metabolic process and make it harder for the body to manage blood sugar level efficiently, and this leads to insulin resistance, which is a major factor of contributing to diabetes. So the next is influence of age. From the graph, the graph highlight a sharp increase in diabetes case for individuals age from 90 until from 60 until 69, which with significant numbers also seen in the 50 until 59 and 70 until 79 age. And from the graph, these sections discuss the impact of age on the likelihood of developing diabetes. There is increase significantly as people grow older, especially beyond the age of 45, as shown is the in the infographic. So the factor like slower metabolism, reduced physical activity, and the accumulation of other health other health conditions over time contribute to the rising risk. And age-related change in body compositions and hormonal shift also play a crucial role in elevating diabetes suspectability. And the next will be explained by my friend Akmal.
Okay, so next is two key findings that we found from our data set is the blood glucose level and also the impact of smoking. So first is the blood glucose level. So what is it? Blood glucose level are vital for managing diabetes. You can check yours in a health clinic or even in hospital. When your blood sugar becomes too high, it is one of indicators that you may have caught diabetes. But other than that, it can also lead to serious health complications like heart disease, kidney failure, and also nerve damage. This is one of the key findings from our data set that we find that blood glucose level is one of an indicator in indicating diabetes disease. And then next is the impact of smoking. So other than the others that have been mentioned by me and my friends, smoking makes diabetes even harder to control since it narrows blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and then also increase blood sugar levels, making it more difficult for insulin to work properly to halt diabetes disease. So from our data set, we found that 60% of people that have smoked caught diabetes, and then 39% of people who never smoke doesn't caught diabetes from our data set. Then next is into the analysis.
Okay, so this is our how we analyze. So first, we use the platform we use is Google Colab and mainly Python. We use the import files using Kaggle JSON. That's how we connect the dataset to the. That's how we make the dataset, make it into our Colab. So if we scroll down, yes. So on the dataset file, yep, as you can see, there is the 100,000 diabetes clinical dataset. So first we show the head, which is the first five dataset, the first row, the first five rows. So yes, and then the next we do a exploration data analysis or EDA. So scroll down a bit. So this is the output. So the first five rows, and then we can get each of the attributes like the race, the BSI, if they have diabetes or not, which is with zeros and ones, and then we can know the data type of each column. So if you can see, there is a float, there is an integer. So this is just a basic EDA. So scroll down a bit more. So here is the total count, the standard deviation, the min, the max, basics, EDA stuff. Scroll down again. This is the missing data heat map, not that important. So scroll down, this is the distribution of the year, distribution of the age. So we know that our dataset is mainly taken from 2019. Scroll down a bit more. Yes, keep scrolling. So this is just basic distribution, the distribution of the BMI, distribution of the HbA1c level, the blood glucose level, and then the diabetes itself, which is a very large difference. The gender, the location, the smoking history. Yeah, scroll down more, man. After this, scroll down. After this part. Yeah, so we also made a correlation heat map, but we didn't input it into our infographic because this is a bit hard to understand for people out not into this stuff. So let's say if I can explain it a bit, so the BMIs is like correlate about 21% to the diabetes. The blood glucose is about 42%. Yeah, it's things like that, and the age is 26. That's why I say it's very a bit hard to understand. Scroll down more, man. After this part, I think this is just like basic analysis of the dataset, so we didn't input it into our infographic. I think, yeah, like this. We also made the chart, like the impact, different from our analysis, because if we make it like this, it's a bit hard to understand. So we make it a bar chart instead. Yeah. But the analysis stuff we do is basically from this using Python. I think that's it for our presentation.
And also, I want to add one more thing about this presentation is about our data set before. So the reason we choose this data set is because, as you know, there is an increasing rate of diabetes throughout the year. So that is why we chose to choose this data set to make an infographics about diabetes awareness. And yeah, I think that is all for our presentation from Bismillah Nilai A for this data visualization midterm project. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.